जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम। जयो जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ, बलदेवा मैया सुभद्रा। जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। संकीर्तन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So today we are all assembled here to celebrate Jagannath Rath Yatra. Just 2 days ago was the actual Tithi of Jagannath's Rath Yatra. How many of you all have seen Jagannath Rath Yatra, at least on the TV, what happens in Jagannath Puri? How many of you have seen? Any of you all have been to Puri for Rath Yatra? For Rath Yatra? No? Okay. I pray to Jagannath that one year you all can go. In fact, this is the only year I am not gone. Otherwise, literally every year I'm there. It's a scene to witness. 25-30 lakh people for Jagannath Rath Yatra. I often tell that it's not that like today's program was advertised, right? We had like a poster made. No one makes any poster for Puri Rath Yatra. No announcement of date, nothing. Still, people land up there. And something interesting is one day before, Puri is literally empty. The next day after Rath Yatra, Puri is empty. On that day, from where people come, no idea. When the Britishers came to India, they couldn't figure this out. What was this phenomena, right? How people come and how people go. Imagine this Rath Yatra is going on for ages and ages and ages. And the Britishers tried their best to stop Jagannath Rath Yatra because they understood that if this Rath Yatra continues, they will not be able to control the people of India, right? They wanted to destroy the culture. They tried their best, but they couldn't stop the Rath Yatra. So therefore, they coined a word in English called Juggernaut. You have heard this word? Juggernaut? They coined this word after seeing Jagannath. And you know what does Juggernaut mean? Juggernaut means unstoppable. They just couldn't stop this Jagannath Rath Yatra. It's a phenomenon to witness. Parashar Muni, the father of Vyasdev, gives a definition of Bhagavan. We all speak the word God. We speak about God. What is the definition of Bhagavan? So Parashar Muni says, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriya jnana vairagayaschaiva shanan bhaga itingana. Anyone who has 6 qualities, 6 opulences in full, such a person is Bhagavan. What are the 6 opulences? Wealth, strength, fame, renunciation, knowledge, beauty. And here in Jagannath Rath Yatra, you can see the fame of Krishna. Jagannath, matlab, it's Krishna, Krishna's form. Lord Krishna has many forms. In Tirupati, he is known as Balaji. In Pandharpur, he is known as Vittala. Right? In Sri Rangam, he is known as Ranganath. And in Jagannath Puri, he is known as Jagannath. In today's time also, we are there in Kali Yuga 2026. In today's time also, who is the most famous person? Krishna, the most famous person. Can any cricketer, film star, movie star, Hollywood star, football star, Messi, can he gather such a big crowd? Impossible. You cannot do that, right? And people are like, if you go to Jagannath Rath Yatra, people are crazy to touch that rope. I mean, today we'll be doing a small Rath Yatra there. You all can touch this rope. In Jagannath Puri, even to touch that rope, it's a big thing. There are like lakhs of people holding that rope. So like people come like crazy just to touch that rope of Jagannath and just to pull that Ratha. So Jagannath, Krishna is still the most famous now. So therefore, Krishna is God. No one can beat him. So today in a very short way, I'll tell you all 2 small stories of Lord Jagannath. So many of you all may be wondering, why does Krishna have this form of Jagannath? Right? Have you all seen the form of Jagannath? You all can see there. He has like 2 big eyes, hands gone in. He doesn't look like a form of Krishna. How does Krishna get this form? So I'll tell you all 2 stories of Jagannath, how the Lord gets this form. One time, way back in Satyuga, there was a king called Raja Indradyumna. And he was the king of the entire world. In those days, till the time of Maharaj Yudhishthir, the king of India, Bharatvarsha, was literally the ruler of the entire world. He was the Samrat of the entire world. So King Indradyumna also was the emperor of the entire world. He had everything. He had wealth, money, fame, everything. But Indradyumna Maharaj was not happy. Why? Because he was feeling that I have everything, but I have not seen God in my life. I have not seen Krishna in my life. So he had this very deep longing that I want to see God face to face. How many of us have that longing? None of us have that. But spirituality means this, that we need to have this longing that my life is useless without Krishna. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virehe name. If you don't have Krishna in your life and you have everything, it's all useless. And if you have Krishna in your life and you don't have anything, still you have everything in life. So Indradyumna Maharaj was such a great devotee, he was feeling that my life is useless without Krishna. And he was every day praying to Krishna, please, I want to have your darshan. Please help me. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. This is the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says, anyone who has a very sincere longing, a desire to grow in spiritual life, to achieve God, God sends an answer. This is called the ask-receive formula. What do you receive in life? What you ask is what you receive. What you consistently, desperately ask is what you get. So we are all asking questions. But what are the questions? Our questions is where we will get food, where we will get this, where we will get money. These are our questions. And we do get answers in life. But these answers will not satisfy the soul. So Indradyumna Maharaj is teaching all of us, the only longing that we should have is, God, I want to see you in this life. I want to achieve you. So because King Indradyumna had this burning desire, one day the answer came. And the answer came walking to his palace in the form of a yatri. This yatri was a traveler, a mendicant, a sadhu. He came to the palace of Indradyumna and told him, I have seen God. I know where he is, where is the address location. You come with me, I'll show you. So Indradyumna Maharaj was so happy. He told his minister Vidyapati, he told him, go and find out. He's speaking about a place called Niladri, this Yatri. Go and see whether Krishna is there, God is there. So Vidyapati was a very surrendered servant of the king. He sat on his horse and he came all the way from Avantipur. That time the capital of Indradyumna was Avantipur, the present time Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh. So he came all the way from Avantipur to Niladri, which is in Orissa. And there, what did Vidyapati see? There was a group of tribal people called Shabaras. Shabaras are a group of people who by profession take care of pigs, their rare pigs. So this was the group of people who are worshipping this particular deity of Krishna, who this Yatri saw, called Neelamadav. But the problem was, this group of people, they had kept this deity of Krishna so private, no one was allowed to see. So the king of this tribal group called Vishwavasu, he was not allowing Vidyapati to see this deity only. And Vidyapati was thinking, I have come all the way to have darshan of Krishna, what do I do? So he decided, let me become a relative of Vishwavasu. So he got married to the daughter of Vishwavasu. So Vidyapati was from a Brahmin family, Vishwavasu was a tribal group, but still he got married because he was desperate to help the king. So one day he told his wife now, who is Vishwavasu's daughter, please take me to see Neelamadav. So she convinced her father. They tied a cloth around his eyes, like it happened in olden times, Hindi movies. They tied a cloth around his eyes and they took him to have darshan of Neelamadav. So what Vidyapati did was, on the way, he put those seeds, mustard seeds, he just put it on the way. And he had darshan of Neelamadav. The deity of Neelamadav is so very beautiful. He felt Krishna's presence in the deity. So here is a very, very important lesson for us. When we say, show me Krishna, I want to see Krishna. How we can see Krishna? Krishna comes in this world to give us his darshan in many ways. One way is through Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not different than Krishna. Sound vibration of Krishna. Krishna comes in this world in the form of his holy names. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna comes in the form of his names. And Krishna comes in the form of deities. These are called Archa Vigraha. Right? These deities of Krishna, even though they may be appearing to be made of wood or stone or metal, these deities are not different than Krishna. So, Vidyapati was so happy to have this beautiful darshan of this deity of Neelamadav. And immediately Vidyapati, he ran from there and he goes back to the king. What is the name of the king? Indradyumna. Okay, I'm testing all of you, whether you're attentive or not. So the name of the king is Indradyumna. So Vidyapati goes back to the king and tells the king, confirmed, I have seen the deity, you please come. Indradyumna was such a surrendered king, he took his entire kingdom, all his wealth, to offer it to Krishna. Because he was thinking that whatever I have is Krishna's grace. If Krishna's grace is not there, we wouldn't have anything in life. So the king was so humble, he was thinking that everything is Krishna's grace, let me offer it to Krishna. What Krishna has given us, we offer it back with devotion. So the king took his entire army, all the wealth, to offer it to Neelamadav. And when they came back to Neeladri, this particular forest range, very thick forest, and when they opened the doors of the temple, what they found out? They found out that the deity is not there only. Krishna has disappeared. Can you imagine this? This king is so desperate and he's come all the way and Krishna is not there. So the king and Vidyapati both thought that this fellow Vishwavasu, the king of this tribal group, he has purposely hid the deity because he came to know that the king is going to come. So they captured Vishwavasu and they were taking him in arrest. So that time, Narad Muni comes there. Narad Muni is a great devotee of the Lord. Narad Muni's only job is, Narad Muni doesn't go for a job and do punching and give attendance. Narad Muni's only job is to travel around the world, around the universe, giving everyone Krishna Bhakti. Narad Muni Bajaya Veena Radhika Ramana Name. Narad Muni has a veena that Krishna has given him. He goes and chants Hare Krishna and gives everyone Krishna Bhakti. The highest occupation. So Narad Muni comes there. And Narad Muni tells the king, it is not Vishwavasu's fault. Krishna has disappeared in this form. Now Neelamadav, that same Krishna, will not appear in this form. He will appear in a different form as Jagannath. And Narad Muni tells him, for that, my dear king Indradyumna, first you make a big temple. And then you go to Brahmalok, invite Brahmaji to come and do Pran Pratishtha to inaugurate the temple, and then the deity will come. So Indradyumna, he wants to see the deity. Now when you have a desire, you have to be ready to follow instructions also. So here is another very important lesson. Till now, did Indradyumna see Krishna? He didn't see Krishna. But now who has come in his life? A devotee of Krishna has come in his life, Narada. And Narada tells him, do step 1, step 2, step 3, you will have darshan of Krishna. Similarly, in our lives, we have not seen Krishna, but the devotees of Krishna are coming in our life. They have come in our life and they are giving us the steps. We need to follow these steps with faith. Just before this class, we were having the discussion, we were discussing about faith. So these are timeless stories from the scriptures. Whether the story of the appearance of Jagannath or any other deity, it all comes, God comes in our life through the mercy of the devotees. First the devotee and then God's interference, God's entry comes in our life. So Narad Muni comes in Indradyumna's life and tells him, do this. And Indradyumna, with great faith in the words of this great soul, Narada, he builds a huge temple, beautiful, grand temple. And he goes to Brahmalok along with Narada to invite Brahmaji, because you need a great personality to inaugurate the temple also. So Brahmaji tells him, okay, don't worry, I will come and do Pran Pratishtha. But by the time Indradyumna comes back, yugas have passed, because there is relativity of time. No? Brahmalok is the highest planet. So the time there, one moment there, years, centuries, ages have passed. So when Indradyumna comes back, his entire family for generations have been lost. So this person, now we are having darshan of Jagannath, we are celebrating Rath Yatra, it's like a big festival for us. It's a festival for us because someone has done a sacrifice. Like you have in Krishna Leela, we celebrate Janmashtami, right, in great happiness. But for Devaki and Vasudeva, Krishna's parents, it was not easy to give birth to Krishna. They had to sacrifice a lot. We were discussing about the life of Srila Prabhupada. Now we have ISKCON society, centers around the world. But that didn't come just like that. Someone had to make a sacrifice. Right? So great things come with a great sacrifice. So Indradyumna lost his entire family, generations of people gone in his family, sacrificed in the service of Krishna. And no one even recognized who Indradyumna was. Indradyumna is telling everyone, I am King Indradyumna. Asking who? Generations have gone, no one recognizes this guy. And the temple is again covered with mud, with dust. So Indradyumna, again he had to remove all that dust, remove all that mud, excavate the temple again. And finally when the temple comes up again, where is the deity? Brahmaji has agreed he will come, but the temple is there is no deity. So Krishna comes in his dream and tells him, go to the ocean. So this place, Niladri, is where Jagannath Puri is now. So Niladri, Jagannath Puri is on the shore of an ocean. That ocean is called Mahodadi, very, very pious ocean, very holy ocean. So the Lord comes in the dream of Indradyumna and tells him, go to the ocean and you will find a log of wood floating and coming. This log of wood is called Daru Brahma. This is myself, Krishna is saying, this is me in the form of wood. Right? So we say, when God comes in the form of a book, he is called Bhagavad Gita. Right? And when God comes in the form of a deity, he is called Daru Brahma, Archa Vigraha. So the Lord tells him, you'll find a log of wood, bring that log of wood and carve a deity of me. So Indradyumna goes to the ocean, and as the Lord said, there was a log of wood that was floating. All the soldiers of Indradyumna carry this log of wood and they start to carve this deity. And the king was thinking, who will carve this deity? So he announced, anyone can come and try to carve this beautiful deity. So many artisans came. But the problem was, every time they would use a chisel and different instruments, the instruments would break. The wood was so strong, no one could do anything. So Indradyumna again has a problem. Right? So the understanding is that to have darshan of Krishna is not easy. You have to go through your own testing phases. So Indradyumna is thinking what to do. Suddenly there's a very old man who comes. His name is Ananta Maharana. Devotees say that he was the incarnation of Vishwakarma. You have heard of Vishwakarma? Who is Vishwakarma? He is the demigod for architecture, right? So Vishwakarma comes there and he comes and tells, I will carve this deity, no problem. But he tells the king, I have one condition. 3 weeks I will try to do this deity. No one should disturb me. If anyone disturbs me, I will leave and go. So they give him a room and this old man is working with the deity. King Indradyumna is so desperate. He's not even going to his palace. He's just standing outside the door, hearing, because he's been waiting for so long. How long? Like yugas he's been waiting. And now he's only 21 days apart from seeing the deity of Krishna. So he's so desperate, he's just standing on the door. 2 weeks pass, 14 days. After that, no chiseling sound. Indradyumna is waiting, no sound at all. So now he's thinking probably that old man is dead inside, we don't know what has happened. He wants to open the door, the ministers tell him, my dear king, you have waited so long, wait for 1 more week. But he's so desperate, he breaks open the door. And what does he see? He sees the deity of Jagannath. Right? Hands are not formed completely, the face is not formed completely, no legs. And Indradyumna is feeling very, very bad that because of me, because I was so desperate, I didn't have any patience, the deity of Krishna has come incomplete. This is an incomplete deity. So that time, Narad Muni comes again. And Narad Muni tells Indradyumna, this is not an incomplete deity, this is a complete deity. And Narad Muni tells Indradyumna another story. So this story was story number 1. In this story, there's another story. So Narad Muni tells him how Krishna gets this form of Jagannath. One time, when Lord Krishna was in Dwarka, 5000 years ago, Lord Krishna was born in Mathura. Then Lord Krishna went to Vrindavan, stayed there for almost 12 years. And then Lord Krishna goes to Dwarka. So when Lord Krishna was in Dwarka, Krishna was married to how many wives? How many wives did Krishna have? How many wives Krishna had? Yeah. 16,108 only. That many wives Krishna had. The word only is important. Right? So Krishna had 16,108 wives. So one time, all these wives of Krishna, they are seeing Krishna every day. But they were still feeling that we have missed something in life. What was that? See, Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka are beautiful. Krishna's form in Dwarka is beautiful. But Krishna is all the more beautiful in Vrindavan Dham. And the childhood pastimes of Krishna are the most beautiful. Right? Like for anyone, right? For parents especially, which is the most beautiful phase when the child is small. After the child grows up, it's difficult. That's a different leela that happens. As long as the child is small, it's all beautiful. Right? So the queens of Krishna, they were thinking, we have heard so much about Krishna's childhood leela, Vrindavan leela. We want to hear more about it. And they couldn't see it. They were not in Vrindavan. So there was only one personality in Dwarka who was also there in Vrindavan. So she had seen Krishna's Vrindavan leela also. Now she's seeing Krishna's Dwarka leela also. And who was that? That was the mother of Balaram ji, the brother of Krishna. Her name was Rohini. So all the queens of Krishna come to Rohini and tell Rohini Maiya, please tell us the pastimes of Vrindavan, Krishna's leela in Vrindavan. We are eager to hear. So just like we are sitting here and hearing about Krishna, this idea of hearing about Krishna was there even during Krishna's presence in this world. Like when Krishna was in Vrindavan, when Krishna would go out to herd his cows, the people would be back in Vrindavan, in the village, they would all sit together and hear about Krishna. So this Krishna Katha is a constant thing even during Krishna's presence. So all the queens gathered together in a big sabha and Rohini Maiya was explaining the pastimes. She was like narrating the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan Dham. And these pastimes are so enchanting. Krishna Leela is so wonderful. You can just go on for hours and hours and you'll never know how time has flown. Time can just pass like this because there is great absorption in Krishna Leela. So all the queens were so absorbed, so thrilled hearing about Krishna. And Rohini Maiya also was in great ecstasy speaking. But before she started this katha, she had a condition. She said that I can speak about Krishna Leela, Vrindavan Leela, but one condition, Krishna and Balaram should not come. Because if they come, seeing them, I will get emotional, I will not be able to continue. And hearing about Vrindavan Leela, they will also get emotional. So that time, the sister of Krishna and Balaram, what was her name? Subhadra. So she tells Rohini Maiya, don't worry, I will take care of my brothers. So she stands at the door as a security to stop her brothers. And Rohini Maiya speaking Vrindavan Leela. Vrindavan Leela is so attractive. What is the meaning of Krishna? What does the word Krishna mean? Krishna means all attractive. Krishna is like a powerful magnet who can attract everyone. Just like I told you about Jagannath, Ratha, Yatra. Who is attracting the lakhs of people to Jagannath Puri? Krishna, Jagannath is attracting them. Just 1 week later is Ashadi Ekadashi. Lakhs of people walk to Pandharpur to have darshan of Vittal. Who is attracting them? Who is calling them? People take the trouble of walking. It's Krishna who is the magnet who is pulling everyone. So Krishna is all attractive. He can pull all the devotees to him. But who can pull Krishna towards themselves? The devotees of Krishna. So when Rohini Mata is speaking Vrindavan Leela contains the pastimes of Krishna and it also contains pastimes of the great devotees of Krishna. The surrender of the gopis, the love of Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj and all these pastimes. So when Krishna heard, Krishna was doing some important work, Krishna and Balaram in Dwarka. But when they got that news, that vibration that Vrindavan Leela is going on in Dwarka, they just gave up everything. They sat on their chariots and both came full swing to hear Krishna Leela. So here is a very important lesson. More attractive than Krishna is the pastimes of Krishna. The pastimes of the devotees of Krishna. It can attract even Krishna. In Ramayana there is this very interesting story. When Lord Ram was in, this is Krishna in Dwarka. When Lord Ram was in Ayodhya Dham, Lord Ram had 2 children, Love and Kush. And these two children were born in the ashram of Valmiki Muni. And Valmiki Muni is the one who composed the entire Ramayana. He wrote the entire Ramayana in a poetic form, and he taught it to the two sons of Ram, Lav and Kush. And he told Lav and Kush, now you all go and chant the Ramayana around India. So Lav and Kush, the two children of Ram, were walking bare feet. They were going around India in different places chanting Ramayana. And their Ram Katha was so attractive, the news reached Ayodhya in Ram's presence that these two children are chanting Ramayana. Lord Ram said, let's call them and let's do Ramayana in our palace. So Lord Ram was sitting on the throne, all the ministers are sitting, and Lav and Kush are chanting Ramayana in front of Lord Ram. And it is explained that Ram Katha was so attractive, Lord Ram is also completely engrossed in hearing about these pastimes. Because from the point of view of the Lord, it's not his Leela, it is the surrender of his devotees, the greatness of his devotees. So Lord Krishna and Balaramji got attracted to that place, and both of them stood on both the sides of Subhadra Maiya. And hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra all go in ecstasy. You all know what ecstasy is? Have you all experienced ecstasy? We experience some level of bliss. You can't even say bliss, some level of fun. Ecstasy is like the summit of all happiness, right? The highest emotions. When one experiences that kind of like spiritual ecstasy, there are different symptoms that happen. The scriptures explain Ashta Sattvika Vikar, 8 symptoms of ecstasy. Your hair stand on end, your eyes become big, your limbs shrink in, different kinds of ecstasy that only Srimati Radharani and the gopis would experience. It is explained that when Lord Krishna left Vrindavan Dham, Radharani had so much separation from Krishna. When she would enter into a lake, her body temperature was so high, feeling separation from Krishna. When she would enter into a lake, the lake would just dry up. That was the kind of ecstasy that she had. So Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra, they go into this ecstasy. And because they go in this high level of ecstasy, this is the form that they get. Their eyes become very big. When you hear something that is very astonishing, your eyes become big, right? So Krishna, Balaram, Subhadra, their eyes became big. The limbs started to shrink in. And they got this form of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. And as soon as they got this form, Narad Muni saw this form from the sky. And Narad Muni told the Lord, my dear Lord, I have seen so many forms of yours. I have seen your form as Narsimha, Rama, Varaha, Matsya, so many forms. But this form, a form like this I have never seen. Such a beautiful form. Like Jagannath is like smiling ear to ear. I have not seen such a beautiful form. And Narad Muni told the Lord, this is the most merciful form. Like in olden times, when a king wouldn't have a son, and after many years, the king he got a son. Anyone would come and give the news to the king that, my dear king, you have got a son. What would the king do? What do the king do? I mean, he'll be like so happy, he doesn't think. He'll just remove all his wealth and give away. So when someone is very happy, he's in a great mood to give. When someone is very happy, you go and ask him something, he'll just give everything. So Jagannath, Krishna is so happy in this form. Why? Because Krishna is hearing about Radharani and the gopis. So Krishna is most happy when he hears about Radharani and the gopis. So Krishna is so happy, when you go and ask this form of Krishna, Jagannath, anything, Jagannath will give like that only. So therefore Jagannath is considered to be a very merciful avatar. He is called Patit Pavan avatar. Especially for Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga's characteristic is everyone is fallen. Right? So one time someone came to Srila Prabhupada, one disciple came to Srila Prabhupada and told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I have a problem. Sometimes I fall in Maya. Prabhupada told him, no, you are always in Maya. Sometimes you come to Krishna. So Kali Yuga is an yuga where we are all very fallen. Right? It's common. But the hope for all of us is Jagannath. Jagannath's merciful glance on all of us. So this story, Narad Muni sees this form and he prays to Lord Krishna in this form of Jagannath. He prays to the Lord, my dear Lord, I have seen this darshan. Please show this darshan to the people of this world also. The Lord tells him, don't worry, I will show this darshan. I will come in this form as Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. So who tells this story? Narad Muni tells the story to King Indradyumna and tells Indradyumna, Krishna was wanting to come in this form. So this form is not an incomplete form, this form is a complete form. This is the form of Jagannath, who is in the Mahabhav of Srimati Radharani, thinking about Radharani. So please install this deity. So Brahmaji comes on the day of Snan Purnima. Rath Yatra was there just 2 days ago. 15 days before Rath Yatra is a day called Snan Purnima. That is the birthday of Jagannath. Brahmaji comes and installs Jagannath, and Jagannath is there giving darshan for everyone in Jagannath Puri. So that's the story of Jagannath's appearance. Now in short, 5 minutes, what's the pastime behind Rath Yatra? We can go on for a very long time, but in short I will tell you. You see, in Jagannath Puri especially, how many of you have gone to Jagannath Puri, you all said? 1, 2, okay. So Jagannath Puri, the speciality is only, speciality or the rules there are, only Hindus are allowed inside the temple. No one else. They don't allow foreigners inside, they don't allow Muslims, Christians, no one is allowed inside. So how will such people get darshan? So Jagannath is very, very merciful. He's thinking that so many people will not be able to come inside the temple, I will come out in the form of the Rath Yatra. Prabhupada gives this example. Generally a patient goes to a doctor, but when the patient is very sick, he is not in a position to move. The doctor has to go to the patient. Similarly, Kali Yuga, we are all very spiritually sick. Ideally, we should go to the temple, but people of Kali Yuga don't have time to go to the temple. They are too sick to go to the temple. So God comes out of the temple. Okay, I will come and cure you. And he comes out in the form of Rath Yatra. That's the idea of Rath Yatra. So the origin of Rath Yatra also is in the pastime of Vrindavan. So I told you one reason why the Lord comes out, to give darshan to people who generally don't go into the temple. That's how he is merciful. Second, very internal and a very esoteric reason is, as I told you, Lord Krishna was there in Vrindavan and Lord Krishna moved to Dwarka. When Lord Krishna was going from Vrindavan, out of Vrindavan to Mathura, who took Lord Krishna out of Vrindavan? Anyone knows? Who was the one who took Lord Krishna away from Vrindavan? No. So there was a personality called Akrura. Akrura is the uncle of Krishna. Kansa had sent Akrura, bring Krishna and Balaram for a wrestling match. That was the idea. So Akrura took Krishna and Balaram on the chariot and he was taking them away. So that time the gopis of Vrindavan surrounded the chariot and they told Krishna, Krishna, don't leave us and go. If you leave us and go, what will happen to us? So Krishna told the gopis, don't worry, I'll just kill 1 or 2 demons and I'll come back soon. But Krishna went and never came back. Krishna went to Mathura, went to Dwarka, got married, and once you get married, you forget everything. You enter into a different Leela altogether, a different world. So Krishna, he didn't come back to Vrindavan because there was demands everywhere, one service after another. He had to do so many things to establish dharma. He never got an opportunity to go back to Vrindavan. 100 years later, Krishna left Vrindavan when he was almost 11 and a half years old. 100 years later, so the Vrajavasis are waiting. Krishna told he will come. So every day they would get up and they would think, Krishna will come today, Krishna will come today. Krishna never came. And in those days, Vrindavan, Dwarka is quite far, no much communication. So they were just hoping against hope, Krishna will come today, Krishna will come today. 100 years later, there was one solar eclipse. And all the Yadukul people, all the kings of the Yadu dynasty from Dwarka, they thought solar eclipse is not a very good time. So let us all go to Kurukshetra, what we were discussing. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a very holy place. There are lakes called Samanta Panchaka. So they all decided, let's go to Kurukshetra, take our holy baths there, and we will perform Yagya, Dan, like that during this solar eclipse. And Kurukshetra is not very far away from Vrindavan. Dwarka is very far away. So when the Vrajavasis came to know that Krishna is going to come to Kurukshetra, the Vrajavasis said, let us also go. So they also come to Kurukshetra. So after 100 years, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, the friends of Krishna, the gopis of Krishna, they are meeting Krishna. And after Lord Krishna meets everyone, the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani, they take Krishna aside privately. And Radharani tells Krishna, Krishna, we are seeing you, we are so happy to see you, but we are not happy to see you like this. We are used to seeing you as a coward boy. Now you are in the dress of a king, Raja Vesh. We are used to see you as Gopa Vesh, as a coward boy. We are used to see you along with cows. Here there are no cows, there are only horses here. There are chariots, and all kings surrounding you. We are not happy seeing you like this. So what the gopis do, they mentally make a chariot and they place Krishna on the chariot and they pull Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan Dham. Because they want to take Krishna back to his house where Krishna. And why does Radharani tell Krishna that Krishna, we are not happy to see you like this? Because they know that Krishna will also be happy only when he reaches Vrindavan Dham. That's why Krishna is like most happy. So therefore they want to take Krishna to Vrindavan. So this Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri, Rath Yatra starts from the Shri Mandir, the big temple. Few miles away is another temple called Gundicha temple, a smaller temple. So the Rath goes from here to there, Jagannath stays for 9 days there and then comes back. So this huge temple, Shri Mandir represents Dwarka ya Kurukshetra. And that small temple represents Vrindavan Dham. And the Rath Yatra is an occasion where when we pull the Rath, in one sense we are actually assisting Radharani and the gopis to take Krishna on this journey from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So it's actually a very intimate pastime. We are getting entry into a very special leela of assisting the gopis and Radharani. So that's the internal mood of Rath Yatra. It's a very, very special mood. And also the idea of Rath Yatra is when we pull Krishna, we are going to do that soon when we have a small Rath Yatra here. When we pull the Rath of Krishna, the idea is also that, my dear Krishna, please come and stay in my heart. Right now, all our hearts are like Kurukshetra. What happens in Kurukshetra? Dharma, adharma, good, bad is fighting. Our hearts are literally a battleground now, a battlefield, fight between good and bad, constant stress, anxiety. But Krishna doesn't like Kurukshetra so much. Krishna likes Vrindavan. And Vrindavan is a place where there is no fight, there is only love. So if we want Krishna to come into our hearts and stay permanently there, we have to make our hearts into Vrindavan. And to make our hearts into Vrindavan, what is the characteristic of Vrindavan? The characteristic of Vrindavan was everyone was like a pure devotee of Krishna, surrendered to Krishna. So that's the life we have to live. So when we pull the Rath, actually the idea we are praying to Krishna that, my dear Lord, please come and stay in my heart. That's the idea of Rath Yatra. And in order to do that, we have to actually perform our bhakti to Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. Then we are slowly pulling Krishna towards our life, towards our heart. So that's the idea of the story behind the Rath Yatra. So I told you all 3 stories. The story of Indradyumna, how he got the deity of Jagannath, the story of how Krishna showed this form in Dwarka, and the story of Rath Yatra, how the gopis pulled Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Rath Yatra is not only in Jagannath Puri now, there is Rath Yatra everywhere. I was seeing one devotee status. On the day of Rath Yatra, our ISKCON devotees did Rath Yatra in Pakistan. In Pakistan, Bangladesh, so multiple Rath Yatras. London, you have seen the London Rath Yatra, 3 huge Rath Yatras. We have Rath Yatras in New York. When the Rath Yatra is there in New York, the city has it's an official public holiday on the day when ISKCON has a Rath Yatra there. It's been going on for more than 50 years there. So we have Rath Yatra practically in every place, nook and corner. We have a Rath Yatra in Dubai also, Nupur. We have a Rath Yatra in Dubai. We have a Rath Yatra Bahrain, everywhere around the world. In Goa itself, we did, on that day, we had like 4 Rath Yatras on that day. One in Seolim, one in Panjim, one in Margao, one in Vasco, and on Sunday, we are having one in Sharao, evening in Tivim. So Jagannath is spreading. The glories of Jagannath is spreading everywhere. Okay. Thank you all very much. Anyone has any questions, any comments? Yeah.
What said when the king had sent his minister
To see the deity.
he had put some mustard
Correct, yeah.
What is that?
Oh, that was for him to, because mustard seeds, the plant grows, find the way back, yeah. Yeah, good. So sometimes you shouldn't tell some part of it so that people ask a question. Good. Thank you so much. Okay.
We go back.
Huh?
We went back.
Who?
They went after we put those muskets away. We go back.
Yeah, that's how you could trace his way back, no? He bought the king. That's how you could find the way back to the temple.
You said that this was one of the most merciful forms of Krishna. But then why Subhadra also stays in that? Was that also
Yeah. Because two brothers are protecting sister nicely. Subhadra is in between. Even during the Rath Yatra, if you see the Rath Yatra ceremony, very cultured ceremony. You can see protection of women very strongly. So when the Rath happens, three deities, Balramji comes first out of the temple. He goes in his Rath. Then Subhadra comes. And when Subhadra comes also, Subhadra doesn't come alone. Sudarshan Chakra comes along with Subhadra. She needs extra protection. If you see the Rath, on the Rath of Subhadra, there will be Sudarshan Chakra protecting Subhadra. And then Krishna comes. And when the Rath moves also, Balaram moves first, the Rath of Balaramji. The Rath of Subhadra is in between, the Rath of Krishna. So both brothers are very protective of their sister. And Subhadra also represents Yog Maya. Basically, she is that internal energy of Krishna and Balaram. So therefore, her mercy is also important to get the mercy of Krishna and Balaram. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll do Kirtan, and we have made a small Rath for Aldona Art Center. We'll do a mini Rath Yatra. Indoor Rath Yatra. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.